If you're working with a potential customer that ghosts you,
yeah, they ghost you. They just completely disappear after you've had a good conversation with them.
yeah, and that happens. If it's happening a lot, then that's usually your problem, right? Because the relationship's not there. I always say the best way to deal with somebody that ghosts you in sales is to make them feel like shit for ghosting you. Almost make them feel so bad that they wouldn't ghost you. What do I mean by that? If I have a 1 hour conversation with you and I put my heart and passion into the conversation and I tell you about, so first of all, I send you an email with a picture of me and my son, send you a text with a picture of me and my wife, tell you about my family, learn about your family, go deep with you, share some really vulnerable stories with you on the phone, end it off on such a good note and tell you, Josh, I really appreciate the conversation. It's been great talking to you. You told me a lot about your family. I told you about my family. I really feel like I built a friendship today. I'm going to put my best foot forward for you, and I guarantee you I'm going to be your guy moving forward for life, for the service or product. I will never let you down. I'm going to send you a quick email with a picture of me and my family, let you know, face behind the voice, send you the exact details, and go to work for you on this. And I was supposed to leave work an hour ago, but I'm going to stay here an extra hour to make sure I get everything finalized for you. I got your back. Have a great night. If I do all of that and then you ghost me, you're going to be sleeping at night saying, damn, I'm a pretty fucked up individual, right? Because I've done everything right. So usually my clients feel so bad for me that they'll call me and say, Alex, I know it's not you. I loved everything about it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's not you. I honestly didn't want to answer, but I want to answer because you're a good guy. Like, they'll literally tell me that they don't want to ghost me because they feel bad for me. So I'd say, like, the clients that are ghosting you, how well do you know them? How well do they know you? Because if they could ghost you without even caring, that means the relationship was never established. Same way, could you date a girl for 9 months and then she disappears, her luggage is gone from your house, you never hear from her again? No? But you could have a one night stand with a girl, she wakes up, looks at you, says, oh fuck, I gotta get the fuck out of here, and you never see her again, right? That would make sense, but that's a weak relationship. But a strong relationship, usually they're not gonna ghost you. So I'd say, like, the level of ghosting you should be getting if you're building great relationships is 1 out of 10 you should be getting ghosted. If you're getting ghosted 8, 9 out of 10, you're doing one night stands all day long. They don't know how you look till the morning. Every single business or service, you usually go through the same exact script with every single person. When you're talking like about mortgages, life insurance, like solar panels, things like of that sort, finances, you're usually talking about like the credit, you're usually talking about assets, you're usually talking about income, you're talking about property. That's the first layer, but how could you take it a level deeper? Well, if you're talking about property, right? What's their favorite part of their property? What's the favorite part of your house? Or what's the most important part to you about buying a house? Or what would you do with the savings after you get the solar panels, right? So like, you go a little deeper on the qualification question that you're asking. You could do it one way of feeling the client out, and then the client always gives you something. They're like, oh, well, I really love my man cave. Or the client will tell you, well, I really love my kitchen, right? And like, that's an inch, that's a door opening that I could go into and like, oh wow, your kitchen, what's your favorite part? My wife just made me get a kitchen. This is what she did. Let me send you a picture of how the kitchen looks. Now she's seeing my kitchen and my son running around in his diaper in it. We're building the relationship through the kitchen. You get what I'm saying? Or like, if it's about assets, it's like, life insurance is very important. How much do you have in assets right now? And like, the client tells you like, well, you're around $1,000. Well, let me ask you this, like, you have 3 kids at home. Like, God forbid if something happened, what can we do with $1,000? And then take it a level deeper. I remember a time I had $1,000 and it was very tough. And I got my jaw broken and I got into an accident. Now I'm sending him pictures of me in a hospital wired up with my jaw wired. And like, all that started from a simple question. And now he feels bad to ghost me. You see how everything's connecting here? So you're building a relationship, going deep, getting to know them, they're getting to know you, and then you're customizing a solution with all the details you're getting. It's kind of like a harmony and a rhythm, with instruments playing. Everything is connecting. That's a good phone call. I always say, like, if your phone call was, or if your sale was compared to a sub at Subway, would you have a plain Jane turkey sandwich? Who eats just a sandwich with turkey in it and nothing else? Well, that's how some of your conversations sound. It's a big old white sandwich with turkey in it and nothing else. I don't want to eat that sandwich. I would prefer a sloppy sandwich, a big manwich with everything inside of it. And that's a conversation or a sale that has a lot of context. So I would ask you, how much context does your conversation have? And if you have trouble building the relationship, Write down what you typically talk about throughout your sale, and then write down like 3 ways you could go deeper into every single thing. And then write down things that you like talking about with those things. And write down things you can learn about with those things. And then pretty soon, going back to the planner, every single day I say, what's one way I could go deeper today? I'm going to try this. Tomorrow I'm going to try this. After 10 days of writing that down, you figure out what works for you. So it all goes back to like having the self-evaluation and a planner and trying to get better every single day.